Key. Hook. My wife was just carrying a few boxes into our own house when the HOA president called 911, screaming that she was committing a federal crime. Crazy, right? But the moment the sheriff snapped to attention and saluted my wife, everything changed. The whole neighborhood saw it, and that's when the secrets started unraveling. So, Act 1, the spark of conflict. When we first moved into Willow Creek, I honestly thought we'd found a little slice of suburban heaven. Quiet streets, kids riding bikes, neighbors waving hello. 3 weeks in, I was still telling myself, hey, maybe we dodged the nightmare HOA stories you hear online. Boy, I couldn't have been more wrong. That Saturday morning was supposed to be boring. I was on the porch, coffee in hand, while my wife Sophia hauled boxes from the car into our home office. Just her weekend routine. She works for the VA, processing death benefit files for veterans' families. Nothing unusual. But then came that voice. Those are classified files. You have no right to those. It was Leah Gray, our HOA president, storming across the lawn like she was tackling a terrorist threat. Her face was red, her hands shaking, and she pointed at Sophia's boxes like they were radioactive. I'm calling the FBI. This is a federal crime in progress. I swear. Half the neighborhood froze. Mrs. Peterson dropped her garden hose. The Morgan kids stopped shooting hoops, and every curtain on the block twitched open. I nearly spilled my coffee watching this meltdown unfold over paperwork. Sophia, cool as ice, told her calmly, "Ma'am, these are routine VA files. I'm authorized to review them. This is literally my job." But Leah didn't want logic. She started pacing, ranting about national security, muttering like she was the last line of defense against spies. And something about her reaction set off alarm bells in my head. I've been an insurance analyst for years. I can smell desperation. Leah wasn't just nosy. She was terrified. That's when Harold showed up, our HOA treasurer, and, conveniently, a reserve deputy sheriff. He had that calm military bearing that shuts down chaos in a heartbeat. "Leah, what's going on?" he asked. Leah jabbed her finger at the boxes, babbling about unauthorized files. Sophia showed her VA credentials, explained her role, and I saw it. Leah's face turned ghostly pale at the words, death benefit claims, like she'd just seen a gun pointed at her. She tried to backpedal, saying she was just being cautious about security. But the damage was done. 30 neighbors had just watched her accuse my wife of espionage. Harold shook his head, muttering that Leah was under stress lately. But even he knew something was off. That night, Sophia mentioned an interesting case she'd been assigned. A soldier named Diego Morgan, who supposedly died in a training accident 3 years ago. His widow collected insurance fast, but the file had red flags, missing therapy notes, timeline gaps. I didn't even hear the rest until she said his last name. Morgan. Leah Gray used to be Leah Morgan. Act 2. Escalation and the twist. That revelation hit like a brick. The woman screaming about classified files was the same widow from my wife's investigation pile. Suddenly, her paranoia made perfect sense. She wasn't worried about national security. She was terrified Sophia was about to uncover her secret. Harold started digging too, pulling HOA records onto my kitchen table. And what he showed me was insane. Landscaping contracts at triple market rates. No bids. All signed solely by Leah. Over 12 zeros in skimmed every year, starting the exact month Diego died, and she got her $300. Zeros in payout. Meanwhile, Sophia kept peeling layers off Diego's file. His commander said he was improving in PTSD therapy, making progress. Yet the insurance paperwork painted him as hopeless, refusing help. The narratives didn't match. Someone had falsified records, and all arrows pointed at Leah. But Leah didn't sit quietly. She unleashed the HOA rulebook like a weapon. We got $400 in fines in 1 week. Unauthorized containers, parking violations, total garbage. Harold got fined $50 for flying a flag. Mrs. Peterson got hit for planting flowers. And let me be honest, it wore me down, sitting at the kitchen table, holding another violation notice. I asked Sophia if maybe Maybe we should just sell and leave. Was it worth fighting a woman this vindictive? For a moment, I felt crushed, like maybe she'd already won. But Sophia looked me dead in the eyes and said, if we walk away, she keeps doing this, not just to us, to everyone. She was right. And then came the twist that gave us the firepower we needed. Maria Morgan, Diego's sister, called from Arizona. She'd found letters Diego wrote before his death. Letters about his therapy progress, his plans for the future. Proof he wasn't a hopeless case. Proof Leah had lied to collect insurance money. That's when this stopped being neighborhood drama and turned into a federal investigation. Key. Act 3. The Showdown and Justice. Leah, in her panic, tried one last insane move. She called 911 again, this time accusing Sophia of fraud. And this is the moment I'll never forget. Harold pulled up in his patrol car. The neighborhood crowded around, cameras rolling. He asked Sophia for ID standard protocol. She handed over her VA badge, her federal clearance, her discharge papers. Harold looked at them, then straightened his back, clicked his heels, and delivered a perfect military salute. Major Bowman, ma'am, 3rd Battalion, Afghanistan. The silence was deafening. Neighbors gasped. Kids whispered. And Leah's jaw dropped. She went white as chalk. The same woman who had screamed about classified files was now exposed in front of everyone as the liar she was. Harold lowered the boom. Filing false police reports is a misdemeanor. If she kept it up, charges were coming. The neighborhood turned on her right there. What little credibility she had evaporated soon after. Federal agents raided her house. They found forged signatures, fake therapy documents, even drafts where she practiced Diego's handwriting. On top of that, proof she'd siphoned HOA money to cover gambling losses. But Leah wasn't done yet. Desperate. Broke. Cornered, she snuck back into Colorado in the middle of the night. My security camera caught her creeping through our yard with a crowbar, trying to break into my office. Harold caught her red-handed, shaking like a junkie, mumbling nonsense about retrieving stolen property. That should have been the end. But Sophia and Harold had a better plan. A trap. They set up a meeting at the First National Bank, telling Leah the insurance case had been dropped. All she had to do was sign closure documents and collect a final $3 in check from HOA funds. Leah showed up right on time, greedy and desperate. She signed every page shoved in front of her. What she didn't know, they weren't closure forms. They were confessions. Admissions of fraud, insurance lies, forged documents, her own handwriting sealing her fate. And then the agents moved in. Mrs. Gray, you're under arrest for insurance fraud, mail fraud, falsifying federal documents, and conspiracy to defraud the United States government. Leah froze, staring at the papers she'd just signed, realizing she'd walked straight into the perfect trap. Maria stepped forward, tears streaming, demanding answers. You destroyed his therapy records, didn't you? You needed him hopeless so you could cash out. And Leah broke, screaming, sobbing, confessing. He was getting better. He was going to leave me. I deserved that money more than he deserved a second chance. Every word recorded, every lie exposed, every neighbor watching. That was it, the moment she collapsed under the weight of her own crimes. Final line. Sometimes the loudest bully in the neighborhood is hiding the darkest secret, and the truth only needs one good push to come crashing out.